The Zephyrian slave ships descended through Earth's atmosphere like falling stars, their hulls gleaming with the arrogance of a species that had conquered 17 worlds without resistance. Commander Vextal stood on the bridge of the flagship Dominion's grasp, his forearms crossed as he surveyed the blue-green planet below through compound eyes that sparkled with satisfaction. "Preliminary scans complete, Commander," reported his lieutenant. "Population approximately 8 billion. Primitive nuclear technology. No orbital defenses. They won't even see us coming." Vexital's mandibles clicked in what passed for a smile among his kind. The Zephyrians had perfected the art of conquest over millennia. Strike fast, break the spirit, harvest the strongest for labor. It had worked on every world they'd encountered. These humans would be no different. The first wave hit major population centers simultaneously. Massive cargo ships landed in New York, London, Beijing, and Mumbai, disgorging thousands of Zephyrian soldiers armed with neural pacifiers and quantum restraints. The plan was flawless: subdue the population, sort them by physical capability, and begin immediate transport to the mining colonies of Kepler 442b. But something went wrong from the very first moment. In Manhattan, a human named Sarah Chen watched the alien ship land in Central Park from her apartment window. Instead of cowering, she grabbed her phone and started live streaming. "Everyone needs to see this," she whispered into the camera. "Don't let them control the narrative." Within minutes, her stream had 10,000 viewers. Within an hour, 10 million. The aliens had superior technology, but they hadn't counted on humanity's most dangerous weapon: information traveling at the speed of light. The Zephyrian pacifier beams worked for about 6 hours. Then the humans started waking up, angry and organized. They'd been sharing videos, coordinating resistance, and reverse engineering captured alien technology while their captors thought them safely subdued. Dr. James Okafor, a metallurgist from Nigeria, was among the first batch of prisoners loaded onto transport ships. As the quantum restraints hummed around his wrists, he studied their molecular structure with the trained eye of someone who'd spent 20 years understanding how metals behaved under stress. The aliens had made them strong, but they'd made them uniform. And uniform meant predictable. "These chains," he whispered to the woman chained beside him, a former U.S. Marine named Rodriguez. "They have a resonance frequency." "If we can match it," Rodriguez grinned grimly. "You figure out the science, Doc. I'll handle the timing." What the Zephyrians hadn't anticipated was humanity's unique relationship with adversity. Other species, when faced with overwhelming force, calculated odds and surrendered rationally. Humans did something different. They got creative. In the cargo hold of the Dominion's grasp, 50 prisoners began humming in unison. Not loudly, just a low, barely audible frequency that Dr. Okafor had calculated would interfere with the quantum field, maintaining their restraints. The Zephyrian guards noticed nothing until the chains began to spark. The breakout happened simultaneously across all 12 slave ships. Humans poured through corridors like a flood of righteous fury, overwhelming guards who'd expected broken spirits and found apex predators instead. They didn't just escape, they learned. Every Zephyrian weapon they captured was studied, reverse-engineered, and improved upon with terrifying speed. On Earth's surface, the resistance had evolved beyond anything the aliens could comprehend. A teenager in Mumbai had figured out how to hack their communication frequencies. A carpenter in Detroit was teaching others how to forge armor from the hulls of downed Zephyrian fighters. A grandmother in Tokyo was synthesizing explosives from household chemicals and alien technology. Commander Vextal watched his perfectly planned invasion crumble with growing disbelief. The humans weren't just resisting, they were adapting, learning, evolving their tactics in real time. "Sir," his lieutenant's voice was tight with barely controlled panic, "the slaves on ships 7 through 12 have seized control of the engine rooms. They're turning our own vessels against us." Through the viewscreen, Vextal watched in horror as human-controlled Zephyrian ships began targeting his remaining forces with surgical precision. But it wasn't just the tactical brilliance that unnerved him. It was the symbol painted on each hijacked hull. Broken chains crossed like swords with words in the human language beneath. "Never again." The final blow came from an unexpected source. The very chains the Zephyrians had brought to enslave humanity had been melted down, reforged and shaped into weapons by human hands that had learned to work alien metals better than their creators ever had. Each sword, each spear point, each blade carried an inscription in a dozen human languages. But the meaning was universal. From our bondage, your doom. As his flagship's hull buckled under human-fired quantum torpedoes, Vextal finally understood what his species' intelligence reports had missed. They'd cataloged humanity's technology, mapped their cities, counted their numbers, but they'd failed to measure the one thing that mattered most: the human spirit's absolute refusal to accept defeat. The last transmission from the Dominion's grasp before it fell to Earth was intercepted by Zephyrian High Command. In broken, terrified clicks and whistles, Commander Vextal delivered a warning that would echo through the galaxy for generations. Do not engage the humans. They are not like the others. They do not break. They reforge themselves stronger. We brought chains for slaves, but they broke them and forged swords, and now they're coming for us all. The message was too late for the Zephyrian Empire, but perhaps just in time for the rest of the galaxy. Humanity had announced itself among the stars, not as victims, but as liberators, and they carried weapons forged from the very chains meant to bind them. The age of human expansion had begun,